You are tuned to ARP on the Accelerated Radio Network. It's 12 noon, and it's time to have lunch. Lunch with the Finance Bunch. Lunch with the Finance Bunch. Lunch with the Finance Bunch. Bringing money talk you can understand. And now here's your host, Miss Charline.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Miss Charline with Lunch with the Finance Bunch, and today we are in the studio of Chris Irey Garcia. Hey, Chris.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Chris is a music producer for Stony Studios, ATZ record label. He's a sound engineer and the owner of Dubshack Recordings. It's a pleasure to be here. I am so excited. And let me tell you why. I've been in a studio before, but I haven't been in the soundproof room before. So I get to do that today. So this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Now, you know, here at the beginning of the show, today we're going to discuss the music industry, the lifestyle, you know, but most importantly, we like to see how you balance school, starting your own business, establishing multiple streams of income, renting out a facility, all that you had to do to make this happen. So that's what I want to discuss with you today, because there's so many people out there who say, you know, I want to be a music producer, I want to be a writer, I want to be a DJ, I want to be, and they don't know where to start. And a lot of times they invest money in the wrong places. And, you know, when you're starting out, your income is limited. So you want to make sure that you make the right moves. So we have someone here who's been through this experience and is going to give us a little insight. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Definitely.
So, of course, I have questions. Give us a little, you know, the first part of our show, we do, you know, the background, occupation, and all that. So we'd like to know, do you come from a family of musicians?
Not at all. I'm actually I want to say the first musician in my family.
Wow.
So you know, it was tough because I didn't have anyone to teach me as I was growing up.
Right.
It was something that I picked up on my own, you know, through just friends and the group I was around. But I mean, my dad is a big music lover. Like, he knows so much music, but he's never played anything.
Right.
I guess his dad played the sax and the guitar, but aside from that, I don't know any. No, none of my family are musicians.
That's amazing, because a lot of times you think that you have to come from a musical background to be successful in the industry, and it's not true.
No, not at all.
And you're living proof of that. Did you always know you were going to be a musician?
Not until after high school.
Really?
Yeah, I was just into sports, playing soccer. Been playing soccer since I was 5, all the way to the end of high school. And after that, I had to pick up something new. I didn't go on, you know, to a college, university, which I wanted to, and so I had to find a new sport. And I look at music as a sport, you know, like it's the same thing, and it's the same type of work ethic when it comes to playing a sport or being a musician.
You know what? That's something that I do want to touch on, is the work ethic that's involved, because a lot of times all we see is the fun part of it. We see little clips of, like, you know, the musician being inside the booth, or the producer being here, and, you know, everybody hanging out. But there is a discipline involved, right?
Many disciplines. That's the being in the studio. I mean, that's what we do, you know. Like, the most, as a producer, we spend 90% of the time in the studio, like, as we create. But there's a lot that goes into being a producer. A lot of job, you know, it all depends how many hats you want to wear as a producer.
Okay.
There's many jobs to being a producer other than just making a beat.
Just making a beat.
Yeah, there's tons of things to learn, and there's no limitations. You can learn several instruments, you can learn several programs. It's all finding your creativeness for yourself, and building yourself.
Wow.
Whatever instrument you want to learn, whatever program you want to use, it doesn't matter. It's what sounds, you know, what's making great music in the end.
Now, do you believe music is your calling?
Yes. Like I said, I didn't discover it till, I mean, during high school, I've always I was one of those kids that always wanted to be in a band, but never could find the people to play with.
Okay.
But after high school, when I started, and once I start something, I'm not doing it to waste time. Like, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna go full in, and there's not gonna be a plan B. It's gonna be solidly that. And I chose music, and I didn't have no plan B. This is what I chose, and I went full on.
And again, it's like sports. If you're gonna be, good at sports, you have to go all in. You
Yes.
can't be part-time. So you're right. Now I'm starting to see the connection in the disciplines.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I heard that you started your first workspace in your closet, in your bedroom.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I'm pretty sure we all probably started in our bedrooms at one point, and probably later on in life it'll be like that again, where we have, well, I do have my place in LA, and this is my home spot, but eventually, it'll probably go back to the room where it just,
Just chill.
I mean, you just do little things, and then you go to, just tons of studios,
Yeah.
That's where the work, but you're always going to have the home spot. But yeah, when I started, that's all I had.
Right.
So.
Now, was your family supportive?
Yeah, not in the beginning. It was a lot of, I guess, after college they expect you to take the college route, and
Oh, you have the high school, huh?
yeah.
College.
So I mean, for me being a fresh musician, I probably sound horrible, like, to my parents, but
Oh, right?
yeah,
That's true, huh?
yeah.
So you're playing your music.
Yeah, they're like,
and you're like,
you are wasting time up there. Like,
Right.
what are you doing?
Like, go to school.
Yeah, and of course, in the beginning, it was they thought I was wasting time.
Aw.
But then things started happening, music started getting better, and I proved to them that this was what I want to do.
Yeah. Now, at what point did things turn around to where your family said, okay, we're going to back off and stop trying to pressure you into doing something you obviously don't want to do? What point were you at when that happened?
Well, I had a songwriter and a friend, and he was pretty good. He was pretty dope. He's been doing it for a while, and the music we were making wasn't bad for the age we were at, and for the level, for the years of experience in it. So once they started seeing that I actually had someone I was making full music with, on our own, with nobody's help, that's when they were like, okay, they're actually making songs now, not just up there messing around. And then we started, that led to one thing, and they started slowly going on board. I mean, until I got a record deal, that's when they were like, okay, now he's professional.
Okay, so that's when the...
That's when they were like, that capped it, okay, he's a professional. But before that, even through other stuff I was doing, it was always it's like they were just waiting, waiting for, hoping something happens. Of course, your parents support you, but it's the music industry. A lot of people don't make it,
Right.
So it's hard for a parent to believe it.
Especially if that's not their background.
Yeah, exactly. I don't come from any family who became musicians, so to them it's like, we'll support you, but just be serious. And
So you had to get into an industry where, usually a lot of times the people who back you, who support you, who give you advice, and who kind of help you guide your way through the beginning of your career, a lot of times that's your parents. And if your parents aren't in the industry that you're in, they can't support you in that way. They can support you morally, but they can't support you, giving you advice,
they
right?
don't know what goes on,
Exactly.
They don't know anything about it, they don't know how you get there, what happens when you're there, how you make money from it, so.
But that just goes to prove that there are no excuses if you want to succeed. You don't have to come from a family background that does whatever it is you want to get into,
No.
You just have to be dedicated, like you said, and find your way and not have a plan B. You just have to move forward with your plan B, with your plan A, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, I wish I was one of those kids who was trained at 4 or 5 years old on a piano, I see some, and I get jealous of some of these people, how is he so good at this age? Because I believe in, hours and time. I believe, how did they get that good? You know, when I
Right.
put so many hours in, but they start, so some of these people
So
start
young.
so young, and like you have to find a way to like
Catch up.
catch up in your own way.
Right.
You know, because
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to catch up to, especially if you continue. That person is always practicing. You know?
Right.
How are you gonna catch up to someone who's 10 years ahead of you?
Yeah.
So you have to find a way to split that in half or something, you know,
Mm-hmm.
to catch up to some of these people that were so, or just find your own method, you know, figure out the way, you know, with what you have and what you and pick up the rest on it.
Yeah. Now we know the music industry is a hard one. It has its ups and downs. What made you commit to it? How did you commit to it?
Before I was in the, I mean, there's a lot of branches of the music industry.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the top part of the industry is like the pop industry,
Right.
which is what I'm trying to get into now. But before, I was more into like the local industry, I guess the local scene, and
Okay.
once I started getting some recognition through some local stuff, that just gave me motivation to try to take it to the next level.
Okay.
You know, I started off working with a lot of reggae artists and a lot of local reggae artists, and one of my writers, we actually to a couple of my writers, I have one song that did really good in a whole separate country, Guam.
Oh, wow.
And then another one, I had the #1 song in Hawaii in 2015.
Nice.
The #1 record in Hawaii was my other songwriter, and then we're like, well, if we can tackle those places, like,
Right.
why don't we try to take it to the next level and try to tackle the pop industry?
Nice.
And so a lot of people are so limited and scared of the pop because they hate radio music. Especially a lot of the good musicians, they despise radio music. It's like, that's, but me, I see it in a whole different way. To me, it's like
It's a part
there's
of
so much more opportunities if you
Exactly.
humble yourself and be like, look, like it's what you gotta do to be, and I'm not gonna let some of these people take, what I can show me. I was so used to being with friends in the studio, always having people around that.
that
When
you
I went to
knew.
school, I became more independent because I was
Okay.
going to LA on my own, and barely seeing my friends because I was always at school. And it also got me used to. I hated LA. I hated Hollywood. Just not a fan of that environment. I love
Uh-huh.
being by the beach or being places where there's not really many people around. It's just, to me, that's so overwhelming being over there. But now I've grown to like it, and it's not too bad.
Yeah, you're
But-
there quite often now.
Yeah, so my studio is actually a block away from my school now, and I never would have thought, like, when I was at school I'd be working a block
One
away.
block away.
Yeah,
Could
like
you imagine?
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Me and my partner actually, we were in the studio yesterday, and we're like, man, we should go visit school next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
and talk to the kids or something
yeah.
so they know, like, I was here 2 years ago, and now I'm down the street, signed at Sony,
yeah,
producing.
Yeah, no, I've had
Right?
a couple of my teachers contact me to come and do a couple of talks with the class.
You should.
I just haven't committed with any of them yet.
You'll do it.
Some of these kids are so talented. I'm gonna go get you probably torn up by some of these students.
You might get some people that you could, sign to your label.
Yeah. No, definitely. When the time's right, I would love to give back as much as I can. Because
Yeah.
I loved when these signed, produced writers would come into our school and giving us
Yeah.
talk. I love that. Like,
Because it gives you hope.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome. I was like, man, I hope to do that one day. Actually, I just set up a thing to come to talk to the Grammy Museum next month
That's nice.
and talk to the kids about producing and stuff. I just set that up yesterday, and that'll be my first panel with kids and teaching.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool.
It is pretty
yeah.
cool.
I've always wanted to do that. I've always been the timid guy, but with this stuff, it's I feel I can teach.
Yeah.
Now. I mean, I still have a lot to learn, but I can teach you what I know so far. And that way you can skip a lot of the stuff I messed up on. Yeah. So it's cool. It's
That's
a great
cool.
opportunity.
So now, when did you get signed?
This year,
Okay.
I got
2016?
Yeah, I got
2016.
my publishing deal with a major label in January.
Oh, so it's been 1 year.
Yes.
Oh,
did I say this year? I meant last year.
Yeah.
The beginning of last year.
Okay.
But nothing really got into motion till the end of the year.
Okay.
Like 3 months ago is when like I really started seeing what this, being in the industry and knowing what, but before that it was a lot of, I was doing exactly what I was doing.
Yeah.
Just I was at home still like wondering but now it's picking up a lot. And
So it takes time.
yeah, it does.
So it takes time. So if you like when musicians or writers or rappers or producers listen to this, one of the things I hope they take away is that your success, but it's not overnight.
No, it's not.
That you go through the steps of getting to the success that you want. You know?
Yeah, I mean, spent many hours in here by myself, like, and it took a while to get to, the major label side, like, it definitely didn't come overnight, but then I also didn't think it'd come as soon as it came, like, I thought it would, don't get me wrong, like, this is what I envisioned, this is what I pictured, but when it happened, I was like, whoa, like, this happened a lot, like, I don't want to say sooner, but it just, I couldn't believe, like, something you, like, kind of dream of, and
then
it happened, you're like,
yeah. What's that feeling? What's that feeling?
I don't, it's hard, it's hard, it's, when I found out that was going to happen, it was a great feeling. I thought I was on top of the world.
Yeah.
But when it happened, I was like, I don't feel anything different, But now that I'm more into the industry and what they're doing for me now, I'm like, I'm excited because all I'm doing is being around other people that are amazing, and I get to be around that. That's all I want. I don't care about them.
It takes you to the next
level.
level.
I don't care about, just put me in with the right people. And this is what when I had my meeting with Sony, this is what I explained. I was like, I just want to be around people that are better than me. I want to go to the next level. I understand I've learned what I could on my own. I just need to be with the right people that are going to take me to the next level, and that's what they're providing for me.
See. And that's important too, Chris, that people understand that it's okay to be the big fish in a smaller pond, but you grow when you're the smaller fish in a bigger pond.
Yes.
So to want to take it to that next level, you do have to, move into that bigger arena. And like you said, they're the ones who can teach you.
And that is the industry. Like, you have to be in there in the trenches. You have to, like, there's nothing you're gonna learn more than being around it. Like, you can sit in the studio all day and make music, like, but being in there and saying yes to every opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't care if I don't know that guy's. I've never worked in that genre. I'm saying yes, and I'm gonna learn on the way.
Yeah.
There's no time to think about it. It's just learn, and I've learned that from a couple of people that that mentored me. Just say yes and just take that and learn on the way. You don't have to know it. You can be complete clueless and just get in there and just
do it.
Yeah, and just do it. I mean,
now, do you think that's one of the benefits of being signed to a label?
What do you mean?
Is to be able to have that exposure to get in that bigger pond
Yeah.
and have that door open for you.
I mean, Hollywood and the industry is a lot about titles and stuff. You don't just walk in a door just because you think you're dope. Like, a lot of people, they want to know, like, okay, like, especially having a title with Sony, like, when I'm over here, like, I get looked at a lot differently than this person who's not signed.
Okay.
Which, this guy can be completely better than me, but, like, there's something, why is he signed, why is he not? Like, this guy must work harder.
Yes.
This guy just must be good, but this guy must work harder because he's not signed to a major label for no reason.
Right, so it's like a stamp of approval.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then once you have that, like, and you're humble and, you're confident in the industry, people want, especially the older people, that they want to teach you, they want to teach you, and you just have to take in all the good, you know, and there's a lot of, you know, negative stuff about it, of the industry too, but you don't worry about that, you know.
Yeah. You stay focused.
Stay focused, yeah, and just learn. Just want to learn, you know. That's me. I'm a forever a student. Anybody who's older than me, who's been doing it longer than me, my ears are all ears.
Now I have a question. Do you believe there's a difference in recording from home versus the studio now that you've done both? Now you have your home studio, but also like going up to LA and recording in their studio. Is there a difference?
Yeah, when it comes to, well, my home is my most creative place. It's where I'm most comfortable.
Okay.
It's where I would like for people, but I'm all the way, you know, LA is where everyone's at, you know, like that's where I meet people when I'm not even thinking I'm gonna go meet somebody. Like that's the my place where I work at is like I meet so much networking going on here. It's just my creative space.
Yeah.
As far as like quality and stuff, they got better acoustics there. I mean, a better microphone, but it's nothing you can't do at home.
Right.
You know, it's stuff that makes things easier.
Okay.
You know, but you can get the same sound here at home that you can at, you know, at a major studio.
Now, how many of the artists do you work with that are able to match their live voice with their recorded voice in the studio? Do you think that even matters? I'm going in that booth. Just so you know.
No, honestly, anybody can sing. I mean, obviously it takes practice, but there is a lot of people that the engineer and producer really make them who they are.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say everybody. There's a lot of talented people who can go and sound exactly like what they sound recording.
Okay.
And there's a lot of people who, if you heard them a cappella, you'd be like, whoa, how are you in the industry?
Wow.
Yeah, but
then sometimes people's talent don't necessarily come in their voice, right? Sometimes it comes in the showmanship. Because I've seen singers who can sing, but they stand on the stage and don't move.
Yeah.
Not that they have to dance, but they don't even engage the audience.
Usually there's a purpose why they're there. You
Yeah.
know? Especially at the top, there's a purpose why they're there. They might not sing the best.
Right.
But there's a reason why they're there. There's something they have something, you know, and that's what I have to look out for, you know.
Yeah.
Just like not just listen to theirs, but they must bring something, you know. And I mean, you find all kinds of, you know.
Now, you know my show's about money, so I'm gonna ask you a question: who in the music industry is making the money?
Pop producers and A-list artists.
Okay.
They're making the most money.
Okay.
Yeah, pop producers obviously just popular. They make popular music, which is the most popular music throughout the world.
Yeah.
So there's no genre for that. That's just whatever's popular, you know. And,
at the moment.
Yeah, and the dudes that are making top 40 on the top 40 Billboard charts, those are the guys making the most as far as producers.
Okay.
And artists as well. Like, you know, there's the A-list artists who are the top of the top, and it's Beyonce, Kanye, Bruno Mars. Those are all A-list. Taylor Swift. They hold all the money. Most of the money.
Yeah. Now, where do you find most artists that you work with get their funding?
It depends. If it's local artists, that's totally on them. You know, like I don't ask. I don't need to know how you know. Just as long as. But as far as people in it, you know, when it comes to like major label artists, their record labels pay for it. Okay. Yeah, and they don't pay a dime. Right. And the writers, all the people I work with are all signed writers. Mostly signed writers in from all different publishing companies. But they put us in together, and there's no money. The money comes in the royalty in the publishing when the song gets picked up.
This is Miss Charlene with Lunch with the Finance Bunch, and we are in the studio of DJ Irey, and we are talking about how to become a successful producer. So DJ Irey, this is our balance sheet, and we ask these questions of all of our guests. So I want to ask you the questions. What is the most memorable paycheck you've ever received?
Ooh. My major label deal. That was the most numbers I've seen personally.
Yeah, and you're like, yes!
Man, I'm not gonna lie, until before that, I'd never seen more than, man.
A smaller amount. Much
I
smaller.
don't even think I've ever, oh my God, it's embarrassing.
That's okay.
I don't want to tell you guys.
No, you don't have to tell us what, but the biggest paycheck you received so far is the one when you were signed.
Mm-hmm.
That's hot.
Yeah.
But doesn't that give you like validity, like, yes, I'm doing this?
Well, until
For
I got that money was when I was like, now I know it's
real.
Yeah, like before when I was filling out the contract and all this, so still, but until I checked my bank account, I'm like,
and the
got the
deposit
direct deposit, I was like, oh, like, I've never seen this much in my bank account.
Nice.
So I couldn't believe it.
Now, what is the one purchase you regret making?
Food. I mean, I love food, but I think I spend too much money on food, yeah.
You're entertained by food?
Huh?
You're entertained by food?
I just thought I can eat whatever I want to eat, I guess. But that's really it. I don't think I did any dumb spending.
Okay.
Well, I mostly was into my music.
Music in the studio.
And paying off some bills. But that was, I don't think I did anything too dumb or too ignorant.
Okay. Next question. What do you know now that you wish you knew back then?
I guess as a producer, I guess any artist are perfectionists, and we always feel we're not ready.
Okay.
We're always trying to be ready, like and already sound like the top of the top.
Okay.
And that was my biggest thing, and you don't have to be like that. You don't have to be the best. It's just the industry is about ideas. Like they have the tools to do everything for you.
Mm-hmm.
All they want are like great ideas.
Okay.
And you don't have to be a really good musician to give a good idea.
Right.
And that was one of my, I didn't
realize that.
I didn't realize like I don't know how to explain it, but I mean, yeah, that's one thing. And then let's see, what else do I regret? Did you ask me one thing?
Just one.
Oh yeah, well, I guess that.
That was it.
Yeah, just don't try to be such a. I mean, yes, work really hard at your craft,
Right.
but you don't always gotta be perfect.
Perfect. Okay.
Just pick it up on the way,
Mm-hmm.
and just get in there.
That's good.
Mm.
That's good. What does success mean to you?
Success means happiness. Ultimately, money doesn't make success. I mean, of course, we need money to live, but
that's not.
But
does not
there's
equate
the rich. There's some of the richest people in the world who aren't happy.
Right.
You can have. I see it all the time. Some of these people that have everything and aren't happy.
Yeah.
So success is, to me, just having everything right at home with your family and everything, and you're internally happy.
Yes.
But I don't know. Everyone my definition of success, I guess, is to be at the top of my craft, in a happy way.
In a happy way.
And then have everything around me in my personal life happy and
then you're
fulfilling. But yeah, that's it. Everything, all the extras. That's all, But as long as my family and my loved ones are happy, I'm happy. I'm successful in my career. My family's like.
That's success.
That's success to me.
Are you successful?
I think I'm successful as to the best of my limits.
Okay.
To where I'm at now, I would say. I don't believe there's ever a time where I think I did it. I'm always going to be reaching the next level of success. So I don't think there's like an ultimate, like it's, I know, and I've had mentors saying once you get one thing, you're going to try to chase the next thing.
Right.
After that, you're going to try to go to the next thing, and you're always going to try to set the bar like
a little bit higher.
a little bit higher. So For now, as long as the people around me are happy, you know, and bills are taken care of, and I'm progressing, family's progressing. That's progression. That's it. It's success, I guess.
Okay. Now, what keeps you up at night?
I'm not up at night.
Unless you're in the studio.
Yeah, unless I have to, which I prefer morning sessions. But unless
Really?
unless I have to, I mentally prepare myself to be up all night.
Okay.
But I am a morning person.
Really?
Yeah, I like to get up and work out and
Get
be in the
going
studio by 9 o'clock.
Wow.
I like a normal schedule. You know,
Is that rare though? Because I always hear about studio time being like the middle of the night.
When there's deadlines and stuff, like when some of these major label artists or producers have deadlines to finish a certain project by a certain, and it's a short time, then you have to do what you have to do.
Okay.
And if it means
cutting
everybody, and because you're on contracts, you're on. You have to. There's no, you know, you have to do it. And then there's times where big artists fly in, you know, and they're only here for a limited time.
Right.
You know, you can't be like, oh, let's work again. No, they're leaving in the morning.
Right.
You know, like.
So you have to be flexible.
Yeah, you definitely have to be flexible. There's no set time in this industry. No.
Now, if you won the lottery right now, how would you spend the money?
I would travel ASAP. I've been in California way too long. I need to see some parts of the world.
Okay.
So.
What would be your first stop?
A nice beach where, I don't know, maybe Bali or something, because they have some of the best waves. Just somewhere dope.
So you like beaches?
I like surfing is one of my favorite sports.
Okay.
Now at this time of my life, surfing is probably the most safest and relaxing sport for me. So I would love to just travel the world and surf some great spots with my girlfriend and
that's cool.
And yeah, I want to enjoy some of the rest of this world. That'd be the first thing. And then the rest, I know when I come back, maybe I can think of what else I want to buy. But I just want to get out for a little bit.
Well, I want to thank you. We've covered a lot of information in a little bit of time, but I wanted to because I wanted people who are sitting at home or wherever they are and they want to get into this industry and they don't know how to get started, or they think they've made their closet, their recording studio, and they don't see their way out, to see you outside of that space and in your studio and signed to a label, a major label. It's so wonderful. So we got to know you as an individual and a musician too, and I think that is where people kind of don't get to see the person behind the music, or the person behind. So I want to thank you for that. Now, if anybody wanted to work with you, whether they be for producing, mixing, engineering, how would they get a hold of you?
Personally, you can go look me up on social media. It's
Okay.
DJ Irey on everything. DJ Irey. I don't want to say Google it because that sounds like Google me, like I'm not that
But
cool.
they can look you up on social
But if you
media.
Google me, I will be the first person that pops up.
So, and it's DJ
Irey. And from there you'll find my email somewhere, and then with that I can connect you with my A&R, and he'll set up a session or something. But other than that, I still work with local musicians. I'm not Mr. Hollywood or whatever. But yeah, it's that or bump into me and just talk to me. And I love to help in any way I can.
Yeah.
As long as the person feels the same, they just want to,
Well, I want to thank you, DJ Irey, for taking the time away from your studio time to meet with Lunch with the Finance Bunch and allow us to come in and get these wonderful tips from you. Here, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who's listening for tuning in. You can find Lunch with the Finance Bunch at noon every Friday on Accelerated Radio. You can also follow us on Instagram. You can become our Facebook friend, and everything is at The Finance Bunch. So thank you so much for listening in. DJ Irey, thank you for this session. It's been wonderful. Thank you. Do I get to go in the booth now?
If you'd like.